From the heart of Georgetown, Guyana, comes a story of unparalleled resilience and determination. Carlotta Cora and Eversley Gabrielle's journey from a nursing assistant to a dedicated nurse with a master's degree is nothing short of extraordinary. Her unwavering faith and perseverance have guided her through personal traumas and adversities, including the heart-wrenching loss of a child. In I Rise, Carlotta shares her profound life story, bringing authenticity and a deep sense of compassion to every page. Through her unique experiences, she illuminates themes of faith, struggle, perseverance, and the profound impact of grace in her life. Carlotta's narrative is not just about surviving hardships, but thriving through them, turning pain into purpose. As a nurse, Carlotta has dedicated her life to caring for others, embodying compassion and empathy in her work. She has been a beacon of hope and a source of strength for many, leading by example and inspiring those around her. Her story reflects her commitment to positive change, demonstrating how one person's journey can uplift and empower others. I Rise is more than a memoir. It is a heartfelt journey that touches hearts, inspires minds, and uplifts spirits. Carlotta's legacy is one of hope and inspiration, reminding us that within every struggle lies the potential for transformation and strength. Her words encourage readers to find their inner resilience and to believe in the power of grace and perseverance. Discover the transformative power within every struggle, and let Carlotta Gabrielle's story remind you that strength and grace lie within us all. Through her story, Carlotta seeks to motivate, empower, and encourage, proving that no matter the challenges we face, we have the ability to rise above them and create a legacy of hope and inspiration.
Welcome to The Conversation, where words have power to unite us all. Are you passionate about literature? Do you find solace and inspiration within the pages of a book? Then we invite you to join our global community of readers in our Conversation Book Club. Whether you're in Guyana or anywhere else in the world, our book club offers a space of meaningful dialogue, discovery, and connection. Together, we explore the depths of storytelling, share insight, and celebrate the beauty of diverse perspectives. Led by Pastor Seon Rodney and Pastor J.D. Prasad, our book club fosters an environment of respect, empathy, and understanding. They invite you to join them on this enriching journey. To become a part of our vibrant community, simply reach out to Pastor Seon Rodney at 678-770-0430. or Pastor J.D. Prasad at 592-662-9844. Let's embark on a shared adventure through the world of literature, because in the Conversation Book Club, every voice matters.
Welcome to the Conversation. Welcome to our tribe, welcome to our village, welcome to our community. Welcome where our love language is simply value. We believe in the reciprocal nature of value. We bring the nuggets and we help you to move from a level 1 to a level 3 life, which we call the Zoe living, the God living, where you're not only existing, we're not only surviving, but after tonight, you'll be thriving. With that being said, once again, welcome to all the affiliates of the Conversation Motivational platform. I said the Walmart of social media. The Conversation Motivational Hour, the Conversation Motivational Date Night, the Conversation Small Business Community, the Conversation Merchandise Craving, and the Conversation Together We Rise Ministry. How can I forget the Conversation Zero to Hero TV family? With that being said tonight, the privilege is mine to welcome this amazing, precious, beautiful, God's unmade, God's choice vessel for the hour, no other than Dr. Simone Matthews. Dr. Simone Matthews, the privilege is mine to welcome you to this amazing platform, this august body that make things happen.
Yes.
We're rolling 10 years deep, and we only get better. Our love language, doctor, is value. Whether in the penthouse, under the bridge, have money in the bank, no money in the bank, have status or not, we still value. Public sector, private sector, we still value. Whether you're married or single, more so married or divorced, we still value. We believe value is the hallmark for humanity. With that being said tonight, I would like for Dr. Simone Matthews to introduce herself. I know it's her first rodeo on the conversation platform, but I want to assure you it would not be the last. Dr. Simone Matthews, for the first 5 minutes, you are a guest, and after the first 5 minutes, you are a family. So, once again, welcome to the fam, and the privilege is mine to welcome you to do what only you can do in the excellence of no other than Dr. Simone Matthews.
Yes, thank you, Pastor Seon Rodney. Thank you so much. As you mentioned, I am Dr. Simone Matthew. I'm originally from Dominica, not to be confused with the Dominican Republic. So I'm a daughter of the soil of the Caribbean, very proud to be born and raised in Dominica. I'm an associate professor of psychology, and I'm also the author of Push Past 10, which we will get into just a little bit. I'm a motivational speaker coach, and I'm also the host of 2 international radio programs, which feature folks from the Caribbean and worldwide who are definitely pushing past 10 and striving for excellence and also accomplishing major milestones. So the idea is really to provide a motivation and inspiration for Caribbean people and people around the world, because we all have important life goals. We all have those goals that have been sitting on the shelf for many, many years. And so I wanted to create a platform where we can provide a community that includes tools, resources, support to help us to finally get going and be consistent. The number one word for the evening is consistency, because many of us fail with our goals because we are simply not consistent in pursuing it. So that is what the Push Past 10 movement is all about, helping to support our community with being consistent, especially when it comes to living a healthier lifestyle, because for most of us, the most important goal is to just adopt and be continuous, maintain a healthy lifestyle. A lot of us in our communities are struggling with, the eating healthy, the being active, going to the gym, staying active, because we are lacking that important component, the mental fortitude, the discipline to remain consistent. So I'm very happy to be here with you, to be able to engage with your audience this evening and to have this very impactful conversation. So thank you for the invitation.
Dr. Matthews, I already hear so many mic drop into your introduction. And that tell me that tonight we're going to have an amazing time. And in your introduction, I already feel the synergy in the discussion even before we get into the minutia of tonight. You know, sometimes you get to the movie and sometimes at the introduction you already can tell how the movie is going to end. Because something in the introduction of the movie, is that you can actually find your niche in it. You can find yourself in it. You can gain some momentum of thought because you have some measure of experiences. And for your introduction, we know tonight that there will be many takeaways. There are many people tonight would not be disappointed for taking a few time of the moment of excitement, the moment of happiness, the moment to just tune in tonight because they're moving to a top tier living. And I love what you said that the rule of thought tonight gonna surround again around consistency. And that is very much important. And before I hand over to you to steer the conversation and for you to get into the expertise of what you are studied and you garner the Kuma Sum Latin and all the A's and the excellence and the plaques and the awards and so forth, and we can hear it coming through the nuances of your brains and all the excellence that people can leave with something that they can pass on for tomorrow conversation at the breakfast table, at the dinner table, at the lunch table, because we're rich as far as India, Africa, and so forth. So there are different time around the world. But one thing I want to say then, and not over to you, when you talk about consistency, there are a few Sundays now, and get into this is the second weekend. I'm apologizing openly to people because I take the wrong approach to life. Consistency in giving deflection to the devil. What does that mean? Because I was raised in certain tribal community where we do deflection. Everything is the devil. So I used to preach a deflected message that the devil takes ownership. And I had to apologize, understanding that we have to take ownership for things that we are responsible for and not the devil. So we're going to have that rule of thought where our consistency going to help us to understand not consistently blaming the devil, but we have to consistently taking ownership of the responsibility of the responsible thing that God has given to us. You see, the fruit tree, or the fig tree, I should say, F-I-G, the fig tree that bear figs. But this fig tree had no figs, and it was because it lacked consistency. So it could not have bear fruit, and therefore it wasn't useful. So God cursed the fig tree. The man with the one talent, God take away the talent from him because he wasn't consistent going out at 8 o'clock in the morning for networking. He wasn't consistent going to meet people who can help him to understand what he needs to do to have more support, to have more people, to have money for bargains, and so forth. He was consistent in his lazy boy chair on his bed, eating Doritos and chips, turning on his 60 inches TV in his white sneakers with the remote in his hand. So tonight, I'm glad that you were here, that you can up the ante, because the definition that is of insanity is doing the same thing and expect a different results. And some people are happily doing the same thing but complaining of the results. So tonight you were here that the results tomorrow can be pointing towards a different results. So tonight, once again, I want to thank you. I want to thank your platform. I want to thank your family. I want to thank all those that are accountable to you and who you are accountable to, because there's sometimes, even though we are mentors, we are also mentee. People don't really understand that because we all have people that we sit under, even though people sit under us. And so tonight, I want to thank you and thank them for your tribe, your community, and your village to release you to be with us for 1 hour deep. So with that being said, Dr. Seon Matthews, the floor is yours.
Yeah, and Pastor Rodney, you're so correct, because many of us are very consistent in being idle, right? And we continue to be idle, but then we expect a different result. So how is that possible? So I really like that you zoned in on responsibility, on the importance of taking the reins and charting your own path, and not waiting for luck, not waiting for other people to do it for you, but being insistent that this is your goal and this is your calling. Because I think for many of us, we believe that we should not just be living day to day doing the same thing. What about a purpose-driven life? Our life has purpose, and we were all put here on the earth for a particular purpose. I am convinced of that. But how are we achieving that purpose if we're not being consistent? How are we achieving that purpose if we are not working and taking those steps towards that purpose? For example, if you're called to be a teacher, how are you preparing to be a teacher if you haven't gone back to college, like you said you were going to go back to college? So what are the steps? Write it down. Write it down. What are the steps you need to be taking? And then every week, check off something. If you had to make a phone call, you check off that you made that phone call. If you had to send that email, networking that you mentioned about, you want to grow that business, but what are you doing? You can talk to your friends and family all day long about how I want to grow the business, how my business is not doing very well. But the question you have to ask yourself is, Are you doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result? Like you said, that is called insanity. So, what I want to draw on, Pastor Rodney, because I don't think many people realize that when you're trying to achieve a goal, what you should be looking at is how you achieved a previous goal. So, I want to throw this question out to you, Pastor Rodney. I want to ask you, tell us about an important life goal that you were able to achieve, whether it was some sort of training program, educational program. So let's have an interactive session here. So tell us about a goal you were able to achieve in your life.
One of my life goal I have achieved in life and being consistent is becoming an actor. I want to really become an actor. And I really put a lot of skin in the game to become an actor. So coming through the minutiae of life where being misunderstood, being undervalued in the rule of thought because you're not equipped in the spaces with all the curriculum vitae of many actors do. So I used to go into my back room and do my little thing, then get my little, stuff in imaginary people around me, which I still do in Facebook space. And until I want to tell you, not too few months ago, I achieved a winning award as a team at the Atlanta Black Festival, where we act joke tale. So consistency is very important.
Yes. So what we have to think about, right? So let's say the acting. You did not just wake up one day and become an award-winning actor. There were small steps that you took towards that goal, right? There were challenges, obstacles that you faced, and you had to figure out a way to overcome those challenges. So now, if we can apply that to a new goal that you have in mind. So, for example, maybe someone else was able to accomplish earning their bachelor's degree, right? When you started earning your degree, you had to take small steps. You had to take small steps to learn the material. When you failed at a test, you didn't just give up. You found a different way to study. You sought support. You asked your teachers for help. You probably asked somebody else who was pursuing the same degree for help, right? You simply didn't shut down and quit when the times became difficult. You celebrated small successes. So maybe you retook that test and you said, wow, I got a 90. And you said, it's the same concept. So now let's say that same person is looking to achieve a healthier lifestyle, right? The same concept. Take small steps. So it is not about going to the gym and trying to run on the treadmill for 5 miles on the first day. It is about small incremental steps that will get you to that goal. In the same way that you did not give up when you were trying to earn that degree and you met challenges, it's the same concept. You're going to the gym, you're not really seeing the results. You're doing the meal prep, you're not really seeing the results. Patience. So my movement, the Push Past 10 movement, is based on three very simple concepts: your mindset, your meal plan, and your movement. Because in order to be healthy, and a lot of people associate healthy with losing weight, in order to get there, you need to ensure that you're eating well and that you're moving. And the mindset part is the consistency, right? Because we know 70% of living a healthy lifestyle is what you put on your plate. What are you eating? And then 30% is your movement. A lot of people don't want to go to the gym, and that's fine. It's not really about going to the gym. It's about being active for at least 30 minutes, 4 times a week. So whether you're walking, you're dancing, you're cleaning your house, you're cleaning your yard, you're playing with your children, all of these things count. So again, the idea of using one concept, using one goal that you have achieved, and applying it to a new goal that you're trying to achieve. And a very, very important part of that is embracing failure. Because in the same way you did not give up when you failed a test, when you were pursuing your bachelor's degree, in the same way with your healthy lifestyle journey, you do not give up because you don't see the scale moving, you don't feel like you're doing your best. You have to embrace failure because it is a part of the journey, right? What failure is telling you is you ought to do something different, right? So when you fail that test, you said to yourself, maybe I'm not studying the correct way. So let me find a different approach for studying. So, in the same way, when you're trying to attain a healthy lifestyle, if you're not seeing the results you're looking for, it simply tells you you need to change something else. Maybe you're not doing enough meal prep. Maybe you're not doing enough activity. So, are you seeing how it all comes back to the mindset? So that is what push past 10. So the idea of push past 10 is to convince yourself to accomplish 10 minutes of a goal every day. And I learned that actually from my own experience. So I believe that God has placed this message on my heart because I learned that when I was becoming a runner. So I always found I was always enthusiastic to get up, get out, and try to do my run. And those first 10 minutes, Pastor Rodney, it was so difficult. And all my mind kept saying is, go back home, go lay on your couch, forget about this. But I always noticed when I got to 10 minutes, something clicked and the momentum kicked in, and I was able to eventually run to up to an hour. And 20 years later, I'm still doing it. 20 years later. And then it clicked in my mind, and I kept telling myself, Simone, all you have to do is push past 10. And that is how the idea of the book and the entire movement was born. So that is the concept. It's some life hacks and using some already skills you already have to help you to attain those goals that you're struggling with. So that is it in a nutshell.
So I understand, and that's so potent. And like I said, your introduction already had so many mic drops, and I'm enjoying this 10 toes down, no cap. You are spot on, and you are hitting the Gen Zs, the millennials. You're hitting the grown and sexy, and no one tonight can say that they didn't have a takeaway, because I'm learning from what you're saying the importance tonight of developing small steps that will lead to giant leaps. You see, people look and they judge by the giant leap. They judge by the great accomplishment. But those small steps, they are masked to the great accomplishment. A story was said, Dr. Simone, that this man wanted to get rid of a donkey that wasn't his own. So because the owner of the donkey have a measure of time that he will come looking for his donkey. So the guy who want to kill the donkey, no, he cannot kill the donkey. He decided to bury the donkey. So dig a hole successfully, put the donkey into the hole, and every time he throw a spade in the hole, the donkey shook it off. Every time he throw a spade in the hole, the donkey shook it off, without realizing that when the donkey was going lower to surface. You see, every little step leads to giant leap.
Yep.
When he throw the final spade and the donkey begin to run, then he recognized that every spade was helping the donkey for its giant leap. So I love what you talk about in the beginning of things, and also your mind governs your action. Because your mind is a processing center. Your mind actually tells your body what to do.
Yes.
You know, I look at people who walk I'm not talking about in health now in terms of having diagnosis, but who develop a slowness of pattern of walking, slowness of when they do things. You look at the outcome. They become very much slothful, very much lethargic, very much, and that's why Jesus said, he doesn't endorse slothfulness. He said, word to the slothful man, and word to the man who deal business with a slack hand. So I love what you're saying, that the importance of the brain, the importance of taking small leaps or giant, jumps, and so on. And a missing shot is better than no shot at all.
And celebrating those small successes.
Dr. Simone,
celebrating those small successes, because we have to keep in mind that many times, and that is with every goal. So many times I'll be running on the treadmill, and people are like trying to keep up with me or something, and I think to myself, You see my glory, but you don't know my story. You don't know the length of time it took me to run 5 minutes, walk 5 minutes, run 10 minutes, walk 10 minutes, run 20 minutes, walk. It was a process. I didn't wake up this morning and just decide I'm going to jump on the treadmill and run an hour. It was discipline. It was dedication. It was celebrating those small victories. It was taking it step by step by step. And that is with every goal. Because many times, as business people, maybe we have some business people in the audience that is successful. And many people might envy them, but they don't know the sleepless nights that these folks have been through. They don't know, maybe they were on the verge of bankruptcy. They don't know how many credit cards they probably maxed out before they got to that success, because all they're seeing is the glory. But what they've never seen is the story. So don't focus on other people. The people who are trying to challenge me on the treadmill, I'm not your competition. You're your competition. Focus on your goal. Don't worry about me and mine, right? Business people, whatever other field you are, it's good to admire other people. It's not good to envy them. It's not good to envy, because that energy you're putting into being jealous and envious of another person, you're wasting that energy. That energy should be on you to get you to where you are. So again, the importance of mindset, the importance of being focused on your goals, the importance of those small steps, those consistent small steps, the importance of when I'm not in the mood to do this, how do I motivate myself, right? So the importance of your why. Why is this goal important to you? Write it down, because what I did as well, Pastor Rodney, is I created a journal, because I know so many of us are struggling. So if your goal is weight loss, what I did is I created a journal where you're going to write 3 things down. You're going to write down your why. Why is this important? And I always believe your why should never be weight loss, because we all know when we start thinking of weight loss, many people resort to the quick fixes, the quick diets, the quick social media new challenge, the quick this, the quick that. And when the scale doesn't move, you give up. So let's go back to basics, right? Your why should be, maybe I want better results when I go to the doctor. Maybe I want to inspire my children to live a healthier lifestyle. Because what does, Pastor, my field is not biblical studies, my field is psychology. But I believe there's a quote in the Bible that says, train the children in the way they should go, and they will, what is it? They will never depart.
When they grow old, they will not depart.
Yes, there you go. So the importance of having that why being an inspiration for my children, the importance of that why being, maybe I just want to look good in my clothes, right? But the first thing you want to write down, if you choose to write it down, and writing it down is the most important tool that has kept me consistent for 20 years. Write it down, your why, and then what you want to do is have a food journal. So you write down everything that you eat for the day, right? Then you write your activities at the bottom. You write your activities. How active were you today? Because that is how you remain consistent, by writing it down. Then there's a section that is just for notes. You write your successes. What were you successful with? Your challenges, and what do you need to change? Because again, it's a journey. It's not a destination. It's a continuous journey to get you to where you're trying to be.
There's a saying that says, Doctor, the height that great man met didn't come by sudden flight.
But they, while their companions slept, kept toiling upwards through the night. You won't believe it. My mom is sitting right behind me right now. And when I was growing up in Dominica and I was attending college in Dominica, we had a neighbor who was very destructive. He would disturb the entire neighborhood with loud music all day long. And because my goal was to complete college so that I could go on to university in the US, do you know what I used to do? I used to literally put earplugs on and go to bed at 6 p.m. every evening to wake up at 1 a.m. when it was guaranteed to be quiet. And every time I would wake up, my mom being a mom, she would come and check on me and she would look at me and she would say exactly that. The heights by which great men attain was not achieved through sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, kept toiling upward through the night. So I'm so happy you mentioned that, Pastor Rodney, because it is so correct.
Because sometimes we look at people and we don't understand the sacrifices that they make.
Yes.
You see, somebody may have a great body.
Yes.
I want to be like that person.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you start envy even those persons because, oh, what is this person think they are, but not taking into accountability that they make a sacrifice while you are sleeping at night. They're there working out, doing the abs, doing the rep. You look at somebody may claim to be a real estate agent and they're just killing it. They're killing the game. They get 10 closing in a week. But you didn't understand while you were sleeping, they were up there working on their craft, working on their skill set, working on what they need to do. And then you may look at somebody who's just killing the game in the motivational speaking and so forth and such like, and you just get all your emotion running wild. You don't know while you were sleeping, that person is networking, that person is connecting,
Yes.
that person is sharing, that person is making phone calls, that person is killing the game. And sometimes you look at this person is doing so well, but you just sleeping, that person is taking their own money, they're traveling distance, they're going journey, they're investing. So the height that great man met didn't come by sudden flight. Nothing happened. I know you said you're not more deep into the Christian genre, but I'm going to tell you this because of a man of faith and being a pastor. I want to let you know that there are no miracle, Dr. Simone, that God performed 100% without human intervention.
Amen.
To put a little skin in the game.
Yes.
Tonight, I love what you're saying, that we have to make sure journaling is very good. Chronicling is very good. And I love what you said about your journal for the day, because Jesus even helped us to understand, to count our blessings. We have to count our blessings. That's chronicling to see what God has done. You see what I'm saying? And he chronicled even his journey. He said, I'm touching the feelings of your infirmity. So every infirmity that you've been through, yet without sin, we can understand because he journaled, because he chronicled. Dr. Simone, over to you.
Yes, yes. And Pastor Rodney, it's not that we're trying to bash anyone, because what we need to do is to provide support to our community. So that is one of the reasons, I've created a supportive community. I have a YouTube channel. It's called Push Pastor as well. So it is PUSHPAST, everything that I'm referring to. And I'm trying to see if I can put it on Facebook. I'll probably include it as a link. But the importance of creating that community of support, right? So I wrote the book and had the journal because it's important to provide the tools and the resources. But where do you go when you need that little spark of inspiration? Because we're all human. So we might be strong today with that goal, and then tomorrow, we might just need a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of guidance. So what I've been doing, and my focus right now is really on healthy living, because that is really where a lot of folks in our community, that is where we're suffering. We see a lot of the lifestyle diseases. We see a lot of the diabetes, the hypertension, the stroke, a lot of those diseases we see in our community. And I think it is up to us as those who put ourselves forward in these communities to provide the supportive community to help our brothers and sisters. So that is one of the reasons I created the YouTube channel, and it's called Push Pastor as well. So PUSHPAST10 is everything I do, the website, social media, Facebook, and YouTube. So on Facebook, we have about maybe 11,000 followers. And on YouTube, we're getting there. We're about maybe 690 followers. But that is what people are looking for. They're looking for that support. They're looking for, where can I go and get a little inspiration away from all the noise? Because there's so much noise out there, especially at the beginning of the year when you see all the ads for this diet and this weight loss and sit and just pedal and you're going to lose 100 pounds. And those things are not realistic. So the onus is on us, and that is why I'm trying to reach out to as many organizations, as many groups, women's groups, men groups. As a matter of fact, I just recently partnered with a men's group here in my local area to be their motivational coach, because again, they had been focusing on the importance of healthy eating and the importance of exercise, but they were not focusing on the main aspect, the mindset, because you can provide as much information as possible to people. And I would like to think most people already know what they have to do. So why are they not doing it? It's because we are not talking enough about mental fortitude. We're not talking enough about how do you remain consistent. We're not talking enough about those little life hacks. So for example, something else that comes to mind that my mom again taught me: a body at motion stays in motion. A body at rest will want to stay at rest. So how does it apply to what we're talking about? If you want to adapt a healthier lifestyle, right? And part of that has to be meal prep, because we all know if we don't eat at home, when we get hungry and we're outside, where are we going to? Fast food, because it's convenient and you're hungry. So the importance of prepping your meal, but how do you make the time to do those meal preps, right? The trick is to not sit down. If you're at home, you wake up, don't go sit on the couch, go to the kitchen and get that meal prep going. Keep that body in motion, right? If you went to work, you come home, you're tired, what do you want to do? Sit on the couch. That's the worst thing you can do. No, don't sit on the couch. Go to the kitchen, prep that meal. So then when you sit, you know, hey, everything is in place to ensure that I'm going to have my healthy meals today. If you know you want to work out, when you come home from work, don't sit on the couch. As a matter of fact, you shouldn't even come home from work. You should go from work to the gym. Because we all know, if we're honest with ourselves, we all know when we go home, we're not going back to the gym. I mean, am I right or am I right? So just those life hacks. So I talk a lot about, the life hacks. I talk a lot about, what is getting in the way, because we have to create that community of support. And so I'm trying to reach out to as many organizations and groups to get that message out, to be that community of support, because these diseases, they're taking our community members out every day, and we need to do better.
I think one of the thing is that the way what was and the what is
Yep.
affect what is to come,
Yep.
and how some messages and some phraseology that shape and mold our culture
Mm-hmm.
affecting the present. So even though they have informative information, it doesn't really bring about that transformation.
Right.
And I want to form that synergy to let us know it even affect Christianity and people even surrender their life to the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Because people are struggling to understand how mom and dad was so dedicated to church that every service they give their tithes, their offering, they sell their house and give the money to buy building and all this thing. But how God really allowed mom and dad to struggle health-wise and more so allow them to die.
Mm-hmm.
Realizing that they have a responsibility to take care of their health. But they didn't see mom and dad were eating from the vending machine. They didn't see
Mm-hmm.
mom and dad didn't exercising, because you see what happened in the back end gonna catch up with you in the front end. Because over a period of time, these things naturally will catch up with you.
Mm-hmm.
So because mom and dad, they were all great and doing what they need to do and so on in taking care of the spiritual aspect, they were neglecting the physical aspect that it affects their health now.
Absolutely.
Because there are things that came with this body from the onset. It's like God make me with clay, make you with loom, make somebody else with sand. Everybody were made out of clay.
Yep. Yep.
So it's everybody responsibility with the same given compliment to take care of it. So people are struggling. How if God do this to my dedicated mom or dedicated husband or wife or dedicated brother or sister? How can I believe in this God? Because God is not fair according to the understanding. Then he come to us now. We're not taking care of ourselves the way we should. And when it catch up with us, we blame number one God. We blame everybody else, but not blaming ourselves. So before I hand over to you, I want to put another phraseology in our discourse that really affect our mental real estate. When people say, Dr. Simone Matthews, that I don't know about my future. I don't know what my future holds. I was once a recipient of that rule of thought. But come to understand, you do know what your future is. Because what you do today is that what you achieve in your future. Your future is not a mystery. Tomorrow is Sunday. It's not a mystery tomorrow Sunday. We already have a calendar of days. 2026 would not be a mystery. We all know after 1 minute after 12, 2025, we're into 2026. That is your future. So your future is as close as tomorrow.
Yeah.
So with the discourse we have in tonight, is that what you do today determines your future.
Absolutely.
So I'm handing over to you to walk people, and I love what you're talking about, the meal prep. The meal prep today help you for healthy living in your future tomorrow. So don't tell me, I don't know what my future tomorrow going to be healthy. I don't know if tomorrow I'm going to be loving. I don't know if tomorrow I'm going to be married. I don't know if tomorrow I'm going to be single. What you do today? You're walking into your future. So
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You're absolutely correct, because it's an investment, right? So think of it in terms of your finances. If you don't invest in your future in terms of planning for retirement, what do you think is going to happen when your age of retirement comes around? You're going to have to keep working because you never invested in your finances, in your 401k or any other plan for retirement. So it is the same thing for me. Doing this is an investment in my health. I think for many of us, especially those of us who have children, we should think about it in the same way, because my husband and I, we have one daughter. And in my mind, I don't want to be a burden to her when she's grown and she's out living her life. I don't want to have to think of, and we can do all of this. And sometimes disease is inevitable. We don't have control of a disease sometimes. But when we invest in our health, we're reducing the chances of coming down with something. So we cannot guarantee that nothing will happen to us. We won't catch cancer or some dreadful disease. But by investing in our health, we are reducing the chances of becoming terminally ill, right? So when we're thinking about this healthy lifestyle and how it's so difficult and it's so challenging, first of all, take a pause, take a breath, and think of small steps. That's number one. But also think about it as an investment. And I keep a picture. There's this lady, her first name is Ernestine. I don't recall her last name. She's now about 85. And what they did, she's a gym and a fitness enthusiast as well. So she takes very good care of herself. She looks like she looks like she's probably 50. She looks that good at 85. And what somebody did, I'm not sure if it's she or somebody else, they took a picture of her standing, holding her weights like this, looking completely toned. And next to that picture, they put another woman, same age, on a walker. So she's leaned against the walker, heavy, and looks what we normally consider 85. And essentially the message is pick one. And I've kept that picture because in my mind, I want to look like Ernestine. I don't want to look like the lady on the walker, because it boils down to how did they invest their time in their health, right? So we cannot completely eliminate aging, but by the way we take care of ourselves, the way we invest in our health, we can slow down the process. And for me, it's all about adding life to my years. So it's not necessarily about living longer, but it's about being able to do. If I want to go climb a mountain tomorrow, I want to go climb a mountain tomorrow. I don't want to think about, oh, my knees, my back, I'm not strong because I weight train, right? So for me, it's about just living a life. I have a 13-year-old. I want to keep up with her, right? If she wants to go outside and run, she wants to dance for 2 hours, let's go. So it's about quality of life, not quantity of life. It's about quality of life. What do you want out of the limited days we have on this earth? Because we're not here for very long. We're not here for very long. And the energy to pursue those passions that we have, the energy to pursue those other goals. So that is why my focus is on health and wellness as the first and most important goal. And then once you've attained that, you have that in order, you have that in place. Now let's focus on some other goals and just keep the goals going so that we can live that purpose-driven life. So, it's a lot to unpack this evening, but I truly hope that the audience is having some great takeaways of something that will resonate with them, that they will be able to take from this program and implement in their life in a consistent way.
The word of God says, we are transformed by the renewing of our mind. Because God understands that the mind came with certain status quo. Because we're born in sin and we shape iniquity. When I was alluding to, we all have the same body component of makeup, which it take clay and make man, the permeable structure out of all soil particles. That's why our body is 98% or 99% water. Because clay is the only soil particles that can hold water. Sand do not hold water. Loam cannot hold water, but clay does. So all of us are made out of one component. So on that component, we are born after the first man, Adam, threw the world into sin. Now we born of clay, we have the sin component in us. So we have that mindset that we came into this world that are prone to a pattern or to a status quo. So when we come to the enlightenment now, the onus is on us. To come back to what you were saying. The important thing is how we think. You see the synergy? That's why psychology and biblical studies are the same. If you understand, they're not inseparable. So with that being said, he says that we are transformed by the renewing of our mind. So somebody mind tonight will renew that they have to do something different for a different outcome. You have to trend your mind, trend your lifestyle. Like for those who are profusely drink or of alcohol, that is dangerous because it breaks down into a great amount of sugar. Then you become diabetic. Then not only that, alcohol have complements that will go straightly to your liver.
Absolutely.
Those who are abusively smoker or what we call that chain smoker, he gonna catch up with you. Because the smoking, everything, it goes straight to your liver also. It's not gonna happen today. It may not happen tomorrow, but remember we said small steps leads to giant leap. So tonight, Dr. Seymour Matthews take the time off to give some nuggets where you can trend your thought for a different. It's never too late when you have life. You may not have 100% of the results that you need because it was being over a periodical time has already spent of your life in wrong patterns. But you can still have extra day to your life. You can still have extra moments of activity still left.
And the other thing too we have to keep in mind is that through diet and exercise we can reverse some of those diseases, right? We can reverse diabetes. So and again, this is not brand new information. Many of us know that information already, but we just need that accountability We need that support. We need that consistent support to say, okay, well, today was a bad day. Today didn't go how you expected it today. But don't let today become tomorrow, become the next day, become the entire week. Just acknowledge, you know what? I didn't eat well today. I didn't exercise like I intended to exercise today. Tomorrow is a new day, right? So when people visit my YouTube channel, what I always say on the videos is, remember, with every video I say it, remember, we're embracing failure as part of the journey. Remember, every week we're clicking the restart button. We're looking at last week. We're looking, and that's the importance of writing it down. If you want to use an app, I heard there are many fitness apps out there that you can use. So if an app would work for you, that's good as well. But the important thing is, we are embracing failure, and we are saying to ourselves each week, what did not go well last week? What was my challenge? What was the obstacle that got in my way of doing what I needed to do for the meal prep, for the movement, for the exercise, that I need to make a little change this week? So the idea, guilt and shame will do us in. Guilt and shame is always going to be our demise, because once we get stuck on guilt and shame, we shut down. Right? So let's push past that guilt and shame, and let's just see a bad day as a bad day. It's not a judgment. We use guilt, a bad day. Now we're judging ourselves. Oh, I'm a failure. Oh, I knew I couldn't do this. Let's stop. A bad day is a bad day. Let's click that restart button. Let's start tomorrow anew. Let's embrace a body at motion stays in motion. So let's do the meal prep. Let's make sure when we come from work, we don't go home. We go for a walk, even if you don't want to be a part of the gym, because, you might be a little self-conscious if you go to the gym. But let's go for a walk. Or maybe you don't have time after work because you have to attend to the kids. During work, how many times can you get up from your desk and go for a walk around the building? How many times, instead of the escalator or the elevator, you can take the steps, you can take the stairs? All that counts. So let us just push past that guilt and shame that is locking us in a negative state of mind, a toxic state of mind, and let's just see a bad day as a bad day, and the people we surround ourselves with. Getting rid of those toxic people who know you on a healthy journey, but they want to invite you out to go eat here and eat there, and the fast food and the drinking and everything else. We have to eliminate those toxic people. And unfortunately, some of those toxic people are right in our families. So we have to distance. We may not be able to eliminate them, but we can distance them. Right? So, we're just sharing some ideas, and we're hoping it resonates with the audience.
And I love that we come back full circle to our preambles when you remember saying that the wise is important. And that brings us to this juncture where you have to know, why am I doing this for? And oftentimes the answer is right there.
Mm-hmm.
The why should be doing anything firstly for you.
Yep.
You're doing this for you because your health is really your wealth. If you is not good for you, you're not good for anyone else. So the why starts with you, and the whys end with you. That's your generational health for your generational wealth. If you don't have that wealth, you cannot enjoy that health. You cannot enjoy that generational wealth. Come back again, and on over to you, Dr. Simone, where the word of God says that serve the Creator in the days of thy youth, while the years drop, the evil days come not, and the year draw by, so I have no pleasure in them. God is helping to understand. Amass as much as you can while you are youthful, while you are young. So your future, come back again. What you sow in your youth will catch up with you in your future. So your future, what you sow in your youth, you're going to be able to enjoy in your future tomorrow. So why am I doing this? Who is the first benefactor? Should be me, myself, and I. Dr. Simone.
Yes, and I'm happy you mentioned your future. because it also speaks to the future of our next generation, right? Because unfortunately, many of us adopted the lifestyle, the unhealthy lifestyle, unfortunately, as an inheritance. This is the way well, not our grandparents, but our parents. Because if we go back to our grandparents who are much more active, and many times people are confused about what you should eat. My simple approach to what I should eat is if my grandparents would not recognize this as food, I probably shouldn't eat it. Because our grandparents did not eat processed foods, they did not eat foods in cans, they did not eat fast food, right? They ate food that pretty much came from the ground, and they ate fish and they ate poultry. So my simple recommendation in terms of, well, what should I eat? And I'm not a nutritionist, but if the food would not be recognized by your grandparents, maybe you shouldn't eat it, or moderation, because it's not about deprivation. It's not about depriving yourself completely of everything. I have a cheat day. I eat healthy from Saturday to Thursday. On Friday, I'm going to eat what I want to eat, because that is what keeps me motivated. But what works for you is not going to work for me. What works for me is not going to work for you. So you have to try to find that balance that is going to work for your particular needs. But going back to what you said about the future, in the same way we inherited those poor eating habits, are we going to pass that on to our children? Are we going to pass that down as a legacy? Because, people talk about legacy all the time, but legacy is not always a positive thing. It's not. Legacy is not always a positive thing. There's some really toxic legacies that we're handing down to our children. That includes, households where they're constant arguing and fighting, and we don't know how to be calm and cordial even when we disagree. That's a legacy we're handing down. And we're also handing down a legacy of poor health choices. Right? So are we just going to keep repeating the cycle that was handed down to us? Or are we going to change the legacy of what was handed down to us to give our children a better opportunity to live a healthier lifestyle? I just recently turned 50. And when I go to the doctor, they're always amazed that I'm not on any medication. And I'm thinking to myself, why are you surprised? I don't understand why you're surprised that I am on no medication, because normally, apparently most 50-year-olds are on some kind of medication for high blood pressure, for some kind of, high sugar or something. And I think to myself, we have to normalize eating well, working out, providing that supportive community so that our community as a whole can live healthier lives, and so we can go on to achieve other important goals in our life, and then we can hand it down as a legacy to our children.
So thank you, Dr. Matthews, tonight. And I said, for 5 minutes you are gracing us with your presence, and after 5 minutes you are family. So now you're a family of the Conversation Motivational platform.
Thank you.
And tonight we want to say thank you for gracing us with your experiences, bringing the nuggets to us that we can able to change the outcome of our health so we can enjoy our wealth. We can change our thinking processes and enrich our mental real estate that we can able to enjoy life. Not just endure, but enjoy. The word of God said that He come that we may have life, but have it more abundantly. So everybody is living, but not everybody is having that what we call abundant life. And it starts with how you think. It talk about your health and your wealth and all of that. Like I was counseling somebody this afternoon, and I give them a homework. I said, work on first how you analyze. Mm-hmm. Second, how you internalize.
Yep.
3, how you verbalize, and then how you actualize, and then come back to me with life-changing situation. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, I want to thank you once again for gracing us with your presence. And I certainly know that this would not be your last rodeo with us. Yes. So once again, thank you very much. And thanks to all our supporters, our donors, our covenant partners, our audience followers. We want to say thank you tonight. And on behalf of the Conversation family, I personally want to say on their behalf, thank you, Dr. Simone Matthews.
Yes, thank you.
In your closing argument?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Pastor Rodney. It was truly an honor to be here, and I'm very excited to be a part of the family. So I'm looking forward with future engagements in terms of supporting the community, in terms of being able to provide that mental real estate that you talked about, in terms of providing some direction, in terms of blocking out the noise, because again, I think there's just so much noise. Many times we don't even know where to start. So just really going back to basics, what works long term, because we're not here for the quick fixes, because the quick fixes do not work long term, and we know that. I'm sure many in our audience maybe tried a couple of diets. And where did that lead us to? People say, oh, diets are meant to kickstart your healthy journey. No, they're not. They're meant to have you separate with your cash. And that's it. But it's not going to kickstart any healthy journey because there's no proof of that. So I just want to thank you again for the invitation, and I look forward to remaining connected with you. And again, if anybody wants any additional information, I posted the website. It is pushpast10.com, pushpast10.com, and you can reach me via the website as well. There's a contact link. You can just click on the link and it will send you can send a message there, or you can email me at pushpast10@gmail.com. So again, thank you so much for having me.
And all other ways that people can reach out to you. What is your Facebook program, the name of your program, the time of your program, where you're here? So give us the whole gamut of.
Yes. So on Facebook, it's Push Past 10 on Facebook as well. And I host one of my programs with inspirational guests. It's every second and fourth Wednesday from 8 to 10 p.m. So the best thing to do is to follow the Facebook page so that you will not miss when we go live. So follow the page. And then on YouTube, I really just focus on posting the inspirational videos of tips, usually less than 10 minutes of tips that we can all use for that particular week. So again, it's Push Past 10 on YouTube. So all the same name, you can't go wrong. But thank you.
All right, Dr. Simone, have a blessed and productive evening.
Yes.
As we always said, competing with no one else than competing with yourself to be the best you who God is calling you to be.
Absolutely. Thank you.
With that being said, to the audience, see you tomorrow night, same place, same time. And we're going to have our Conversation Motivational Date Night. Remember to keep the date with myself and Apostle J.D. Prasad. Today versus your tomorrow is our topic. God bless you. Have a great and productive evening. Tata.
All right. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye. Mm-hmm.